This is EV3, the latest electric SUV from Kia. And although compact, it offers plenty of range, and with low price point, it is targeted for the masses. In this video, I will introduce Kia EV3, the technical specs of it, the prices, the various trims that are available, how it fares against its competitors, what is the cargo space, if it's a family-friendly car, what is the range, and what is the charging speed, among other things. With an amazing lineup in the recent years, Kia has established itself as a prominent brand in the electric car world, taking aggressive steps and risk on the design, especially on the logo, and with very chunky and aggressive designs which really stand out among all the electric vehicles right now. And taking one step further to make modular cars to ensure high quality and standards, all of the electric cars that are coming from Hyundai, Kia and Genesis are based on EGMP platform. So for example, Kia EV9, Kia EV6, Hyundai Ioniq 5, Ioniq 6, all of these cars are based on EGMP platform. EV3 is going to use the same platform, the EGMP, but with slight modification to accommodate a compact car, which I will explain in a bit. Currently, EV3 is only available in front-wheel drive configuration with an electric motor capable to deliver 150 kilowatts or 204 horsepower. And it is able to generate 283 Newton meters of torque or roughly 209 pound-feet of torque. The car comes in two battery sizes. The smaller battery size, which is around 58.3 kilowatt hours, and the larger battery size, which is around 81.4 kilowatt hours. The top speed of this car is limited to 170 kilometers per hour or 105 miles per hour. And the acceleration from 0 to 100 for the smaller battery variant is around 7.6 seconds, whereas for the larger battery variant, it's around 7.9 seconds. Now let's take a look at the trims available. In Germany, there are three trims, which are the entry-level Air, Earth, and then GT line, which is the premium version. But this varies in each country. For example, while looking at the UK data, over there, the entry level is Air, there is no Earth. Instead, it is GT line, and the premium one is GT line S, which is similar or actually same to GT line in Germany, but the Air in UK is somewhat in between the Air and Earth available in Germany. But as I am in Germany, I will only be discussing the trim options that are available in Germany, but it should be quite similar across Europe. In the base version Air, Kia EV3 is equipped with 12.3-inch driver screen, 12.3-inch touch navigation or screen for the passenger, and 5.3-inch climate control screen. It has basic door handles which do not flush out, it has 6 speakers, it has 17-inch alloy rims, and adaptive smart cruise control. Talking about the interior, it does not come in the two-tone artificial leather, but a grey cloth design, which is also quite premium. Most importantly, it has battery preconditioning, which is quite important. If you require blind spot monitoring or heated seats or heated steering wheel, this can be added as an option, and that was the point. Some of these features are available as Air in the UK version. It does not have sunroof, and if you're looking for vehicle-to-load charging, if you want to charge your appliances or use your external appliances, for example, iron or hair dryer on the go, you cannot use with the feature called vehicle-to-load. It does not support V2X or vehicle-to-grid or bidirectional charging. Whereas the trim I'm driving right now is the GT line. It has all the features that makes an already good and amazing car. For example, with heated seat, with heated steering, 19-inch alloy rims, premium Harman Kardon 8-speaker system, seat memory function, heat pump, inductive charging for smartphone, two-tone artificial leather seat, and is equipped with vehicle-to-load functionality so that you can charge your external appliances or also can charge your laptop on the go. And also it is prepared and it can support V2X or vehicle-to-grid or bidirectional charging in case you decide in future that you want to sell your car energy. And the interior material in this car, I have to honestly say, they feel quite premium. So here are the prices, but kindly note that these prices include 19% value-added tax from Germany. But I will also show the prices without VAT so that if you're watching, let's say from USA, you can have an assumption where the prices might lie in case this car comes in USA. When you consider the price point of EV3, Kia has done a great job of placing this at a different level so that it is not competing with already existing product. For example, EV6 is available in Germany from 45,000 to 61,000. $62,000. The EV9 is available from €62,000 to €83,000, whereas Kia EV3 is available from €36,000 to €48,000. Now let's look at the prices of Kia EV3. Starting with the smaller battery, the starting price of Air trim is €35,990 and Earth trim is €2,300 expensive, and it is available at €38,290. Whereas for the larger battery, 81.4 kilowatt hours, there are 3 trims available: Air, Earth and GT line. The starting price of Air trim with the larger battery is €41,390, which is €5,400 more expensive than the smaller battery version. The Earth trim, similar to smaller battery, is €2,300 more expensive than it, and again the Earth trim is €5,400 more expensive than the Earth trim for the smaller battery. Lastly, the GT line is the most expensive at €48,690, which is €5,000 more expensive than the Earth trim. So moving horizontally from Air to Earth, the price increased by €2,300. However, by moving vertically from Air smaller battery version to Air larger battery version, the difference is €5,400. Let's discuss the dimension of this car. The car is 4.3 meters long, 1.85 meters wide, and 1.56 meter high. Here is a slight difference with the GT line version. The GT line version is slightly longer at 4.31 meters. The wheelbase is 2.68 meters and it offers plenty of space for the driver and also the passenger who is sitting behind. So here you can see I'm 5'10" and I have enough space to sit at the back. And this is my driving position, so that means I was sitting quite comfortably driving there, and that's what I mean. If you're below 6 feet, I think this is a very good car. Even if you sit at the back, you will have leg room, you will have plenty of headroom, but in case if you're 6 feet, the leg room will be quite tight as well as the headroom. The gross vehicle weight of the car is 2,270 kilograms for the smaller battery variant and 2,355 kilograms for the larger battery variant. And also for the design, it looks kind of clunky, it has very aggressive lines, but let me tell you, it has very impressive drag coefficient as well at 0.26. Also, it has a very decent turning radius of 10.4 meters, making it ideal to drive around tight spaces, cities, as well as in complete Europe. Now let's look at the cargo space. The EV3 offers 25 liters of trunk space, which does not sound a lot, but honestly it is quite practical to store the cables or smaller groceries up front. Looking at the back, it has 460 liters of space, but to consider 460 liters, you have to remove the underboard, and then in total you get 460 liters. The back space with the seats folded down is also quite respectable at 1251 liters. But to understand how much space is at the back, we have to compare it with its competition. For example, Mercedes EQA, it has around 340 liters. Smart Hashtag 1 has around 323 liters and Smart Hashtag 3 has around 370 liters. Volkswagen ID3 has 385 liters and Mercedes EQB has around 495 liters and Hyundai Ioniq 6 has 401 liters. So considering all of this, I think it's a very handy cargo space. I will try to fit in my luggage as well to see how much it can fit in. Now let's talk about the range. Starting with the smaller battery variant. Kia claims that on the Air it can travel up to 436 kilometers and for the Earth variant it can go up to 414 kilometers. And on the larger battery variant on the base trim Air, it can travel up to 605 kilometers, whereas on the Earth and GT line it can go up to 563 kilometers, which are honestly quite impressive numbers. But considering this car ever reaches US, I just wanted to try and estimate what could be the EPA range. I used the difference of WLTP and EPA range of Kia EV9 in Europe as well as in US, and here are my results. In case the smaller battery variant is available in US, the EPA range could be 390 to 370 kilometers, which is 243 to 231 miles, and for the larger battery variant, the EPA range could be 540 to 505 kilometers or 337 to 314 miles. Looking at these numbers, I do not think that Kia is going to introduce a smaller battery variant in US because the annual average mileage of a driver in US is around 11,300 miles and 200 miles, 230 miles is a number I don't think so is going to be successful over there. Regarding the charging speed, we need to keep in mind that is the entry-level Kia model. And I mentioned earlier that the eGMP platform has been modified to accommodate the compact cars. What I mean by that is that instead of using the 800 volts technology that we know from Kia EV6, Ioniq 5, Ioniq 6, Kia EV9, and with the 800-volt architecture, they are able to charge above 220 kilowatts. This is not going to be the case in EV3. This is going to be built on 400-volt architecture. What this means is that the smaller battery variant can have a peak charging of 101 kilowatts, whereas the larger battery variant can charge with a peak of around 128 kilowatts, which is quite respectable. A lot of cars offer still charging speed below 150 kilowatts. For example, I have an ID.5 Pro, which I've been driving for about 1.5 years. It charges at a peak speed of 135 kilowatts. For the smaller battery, 10 to 80% if you're using a fast charger can be charged in 29 minutes, whereas the larger battery can be charged in 31 minutes. And if you're charging the car at your home or at your workplace, and considering you're charging from 0 to 100%, the smaller battery can be charged in 6 hours, whereas the larger battery can be charged in 8.5 hours, considering that you are using a wall box that can deliver 11 kilowatts, because this car is equipped with an onboard charger that can support charging speeds up to 10.5 kilowatts. The infotainment system is quite responsive and supports Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and has a very user-friendly interface. The cameras on this car, I would say, are pretty good. Yeah, see? I mean, you can see how far away the pavement is. It's pretty brilliant. Wow. I mean, honestly, I love the steering input on this car. It's absolutely amazing. There is zero doubt about it. And here's a mistake. It's recognizing this street as a 50 kilometers per hour road, but it's not. It's a 30 zone. All right. Okay, it realized that the road is 30 kilometers per hour zone. Let's take the car to the Autobahn. And that's going to be a lot of fun. So let me show you how quickly it realizes that I'm not driving fully consciously and I'm not looking straight ahead. Just starting the test in 3, 2, 1. So this is how long it took to tell me that I'm not driving consciously, that I'm not aware of my presence, I'm not aware of my surroundings, and that is a dangerous thing. Good job, Kia. So every time it recognizes a speed limit, it sort of gives a beep, which is good. So I have to take the next exit. This feature is quite good, honestly, but if the camera has water drops on it, yeah, it's not the most pleasant one. So this button over here lets me choose the drive mode. I think right now I'm in eco mode. Now I'm in sports mode, and I felt an instantaneous response. But let me see, there's my drive, there's snow, eco. This is the eco version. Let's go to the sports mode. The throttle is lovely, man, here. The response on the sports mode is so good. Brilliant. Right now I'm driving at 140 kilometers per hour. So I've activated the highway driving assistant, and the way it functions is that, let's say if I have to change the lane, I have to press the blinker, for example here, but I have to keep my hand on the steering wheel, otherwise it does not activate.
The next exit onto B3 towards Rastatt.
Let me show you what I mean. Okay, I overtake the car on my right, and let's say I want to take a right turn. It will not change the lane unless I press it and I keep my hand on the steering wheel, only
Now
in
leave
that
motorway
instant
to the right.
it's going to take the right turn. But still, it's a very usable feature.
Now turn.
The animation on the head-up display are pretty nice. And this is also a very nice feature. The test with Kia EV3 I think was quite brilliant. I just wish I could have had a little bit more time. Unfortunately, due to the weather, I had to make the complete video while sitting in the car. Also, I wish I could have tested the charging speed of this car. But no worries, perhaps I will get another chance and then I will try my luck. But anyways, I will say this car was quite brilliant. At first it did not look like it had a lot of space, but once I moved the boat below, suddenly there was a lot of space, and I have to say that Kia has done an amazing job when it comes to cargo space. Would I recommend this car to a family of 5 people? The only reason I might not is the cargo space. But is it good enough for a single person? 100%. For a couple? Absolutely. For family vacations? Yes, indeed. If you have one toddler, one kid, of course it's going to work without any problem. But with 2 kids, I think it might become a bit tight. And for this video, I would like to thank Autohaus Zschernitz in Karlsruhe and also the salesman Yukon, fully knowing that I haven't even made a car review before, and this will be my first one, and they trusted me with it, and for that I can only thank you. And I love this car. I was able to test the car on Autobahn, and also I was able to test the car in the city. And on Autobahns, I even went up to speed of 150 kilometers per hour in a very harsh weather, I would to say. But the car felt quite stable. At no point I felt like I could lose the control. While turning the car, this car is quite smooth. The ride is quite smooth. 2 years ago, when I decided for Volkswagen ID.5, I tested it against Model Y. And I have to say, Model Y, I could feel a lot of bumps. And Volkswagen ID.5, the ride was quite smooth. However, with Kia EV3, I have to say, it felt even more comfortable. Honestly, the steering wheel was quite nice. This car has the potential to become the best-selling Kia electric vehicle. And I'm sure about it. It offers quite a lot of value for the money you are going to pay for it. Talking about range, it's pretty good. Is the charging time too slow? No. Of course, if you're going to compare with EV6 or EV9 or Hyundai Ioniq 6, Ioniq 5, yeah, of course you're going to see a difference. But these are the only cars, not in the luxury car segment, who are offering 800 volts. I mean, you have to consider competition. What are they offering? Volkswagen, let's say, or Volvo. I mean, these are all the cars that have full 100-volt architecture. Even if you look at Stellantis group, Peugeot, Opel, Fiat, or if you go the other French manufacturers, Citroën or Renault, they are all offering 400-volt battery architecture. That's the standard. So I'm pretty happy with it. If you can charge from 10 to 80% in 31 minutes, and one important thing, this car comes with preconditioning. I really like my Volkswagen ID.5. I think it's a brilliant car. While I'm driving in summer, I can charge from 10 to 80% in 32 minutes. It has a battery around 77 kilowatt hours. It's pretty good, right? But when I'm charging the same car in winter, for the same 10 to 80% in winter for ID.5, it takes around 45 to 50 minutes. Reason? It does not have preconditioning of battery. So whenever I'm arriving at the charging station, my battery is pretty cold, which means that I cannot obtain fast charging speed, regardless what the charger can deliver. Even if the charger can deliver 400 kilowatts, I cannot charge my car above 70 kilowatts usually. The reason? The battery is cold, and the optimum battery temperature where EV batteries are working properly is above 25 degrees centigrade. I plug in my car, for example, at 10%. By the time it reaches that temperature, while charging it heats up, my SOC or my state of charge has already reached around 50%, 55%. And at that time, my battery is warm enough to be able to charge fast. But the problem is, now I'm limited by an amount of charge that is inside my battery. The SOC is around 50 or 60%. So then again, I'm not able to extract 135 kilowatts, but rather around 90 or 85 kilowatts. With Kia EV3, you will not have this problem. Before going to a charging station, you can preheat the battery. Of course, it's going to consume some kilowatts of energy because heating is, let's say, the Achilles heel when it comes to electric cars. It is the sole thing that consumes a lot of energy. And if I tell you, you will reach there with a lot of battery charge, why not That's amazing. You should be able to do it. You should do it. So Kia has done a huge favor to the public by offering preconditioning. So this is a real life range test, and these are my curves from my driving in the morning as well as in the evening. So first let's start with the morning curves. So this is a mixture of driving on the city as well as on the highway, which we call Autobahn in Germany. And you can see my driving profile. So the gray curve is showing my driving speed at the time. The red one is the SOC and the blue one is the distance that I've traveled. So essentially you can see that I was driving at Autobahn at pretty high speed, which was at times around 150 kilometers per hour. So here are the results. So in the morning run, I drove around 28.5 kilometers at an average speed of 74 kilometers per hour. The time that I was driving was around 23 minutes, and the SOC that I consumed was around 7.5% or 6.1 kilowatt hours. So making the consumption of around 21.4 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. But keep in mind that I was driving at pretty fast speeds. But if you're interested in seeing the results in miles per hour, here are the results for it as well. So essentially I drove around 17.7 miles and the average speed was 46 miles per hour. The maximum speed that I reached something around 93.8 miles per hour, which makes my consumption around 34.47 kilowatt hours per 100 mile. But now let's look at the evening drive, because that's a different profile. Because on the way back, I drove 15 kilometers extra, and it was a mixture of different driving profiles. So I was at Autobahn, but I was driving on the outskirts of the city, but the speed was regulated for most part of the trip. It was around 80 kilometers per hour. That was the maximum speed, and hence you will see completely different results. So I drove around 37 minutes this time and I covered 34.1 kilometers during this period. The SOC I consumed was around 7.5% or 6.1 kilowatt hours, pretty similar to my morning drive honestly. But here is the biggest difference. The average speed was 55 kilometers per hour and the consumption that I had was 17.9 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers, and that is a very good value considering that it was a very chilly day. The outside temperature was around 3 degrees centigrade, so I'm pretty happy to see such results. And if you want to see in miles per hour, it is also pretty good, because I drove around 21.2 miles and the consumption is around 28.81 kilowatt hours per 100 miles with an average speed of 34 miles. So this is a very good rounded profile, and as a summary, here are the results. So on the top I'm showing kilometers per hour and the below it's miles per hour. But anyways, this is my whole trip. So I consume around 15.5% of SSE by driving 62.6 kilometers. The driving time was 1 hour and the average speed throughout this was 63 kilometers per hour. So the end result was 20.15 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. And this is a winter range. If it's going to be in summer, I'm pretty sure we are going to land below 17 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometer. And mind you, I was driving at extraordinary high speeds that I showed earlier in the morning graph. So a normal person driving in other European countries where the speed is limited, I don't think so you will cross anywhere around that, and you will be driving more around this driving profile. And hence, if you're achieving 17 to 18 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers, that is a very good value, because the standard for Volkswagen ID.5, for example, or any other respectable vehicle or any other corresponding vehicle, you can easily estimate from 21 to 23 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers during winter drive. So with all this data available, I can recommend this car without any hesitation. So please check out Kia EV3. I think it will not let you down. With excellent battery options, charging speed, premium feel, and competitive pricing, and also the 7 years guarantee that Kia offers while purchasing the car, I think this could become Kia's best-selling electric vehicle in Europe in the compact EV segment. What are your thoughts? If you found this video insightful, kindly like the video, share it, and also subscribe to my channel. See you later. Thank you. Bye-bye.